Hello everyone, my name is Aditya. I am from 2 CSSC. Now I am going to explain about accessing elements from collections. There are 4 different ways of accessing elements. For each loop, iterator interface, list iterator interface, enumeration interface. For each loop. This is the basic common method. For each loop is also called as enhanced for loop. It is used to retrieve the elements from collection one by one. Here is the syntax, we can see it. Here variable means the iterator variable by which we can access the elements. Collection object means the collection we have mentioned from which we are going to extract elements. This is the example of accessing elements from a collection array list by using for each loop. Here we have to import array list to access to create object to array list interface. Public static void main string args. Here we are adding 4 elements apple, mango, grapes, orange to the collection array list. Here we are printing the array list by name of the collection. Here we are accessing elements one by one by using array elements. Here for each loop syntax, here string means type of collection, S iterative variable, ARR is our collection. We are going to accessing array list elements one by one. Each time the loop iterates, one by one object, one by one element is accessed. It prints the elements one by one using for each loop. Next we are going to explain about iterator interface. Iterator is an interface that contains methods to retrieve elements by one. It has 3 methods: boolean hasNext, element next, void remove. Here hasNext is a boolean method. It returns true if the iterator has elements. Element next, this method returns the next element in the iterator. Void remove, this is the general method in all type of iterators. This removes the element from collection which is the last returned by the iterator. Here we see an example. Here we are importing iterator interface to access the elements of array list. Here like previous, we are going to create array list using AR with name AR. We are adding 4 elements to it: apple, mango, grapes, orange. Here generally we are printing using object collection name. Now we have to create iterator reference variable. We are representing it as IT. This is collection name dot iterator method, which is default available in iterator interface. We are using a while loop. Here it has next. It checks whether there is next element or not. If it exists, then we are going to into the loop. Here it dot next means we are accessing the element from the collection. That's all. So it iterates throughout the collection until it has no element to access it. This is using iterator. Now we are going to see about list iterator. List iterator interface. This is common to iterator, but it has extra feature, that is, in this we can access elements both in forward and backward directions. It has the following methods. Has next, which is same as the previous. This method returns true if the iterator has more elements. Next, has previous. If we are traversing from reverse direction, it checks whether it has previous element or not. Next, this method returns the next element in the iterator. Same as previous. Element previous. This method returns previous element in the iterator when we are traversing in reverse direction. Void remove. This method removes element from the collection which is the last written by the iterator. We are going to see an example. Here, as usual, we are importing array list iterator. Same as previous, we are inserting 4 elements: apple, mango, grapes, orange. Here is the collection name. As usual, we are printing contents of the collection, generally using print statement. Now we are going to iterate the loop in forward direction. Iterate the collection. For this, similar to previous, we have to create a reference variable to list iterator it equal to ar dot list iterator method, while it dot has next, similar to previous, until next element is present. This while loop iterates and access one by one element from the collection. Now the pointer is at the end of the collection, so we can traverse it from reverse direction. For this, we have to use two methods: has previous, previous. Has previous checks whether there is previous element or not. If it is present, then it goes inside the loop. Now it accesses the previous elements one by one until there was no previous element. Here the elements are going to print in the as apple, mango, grapes, orange. Here it will print as orange, grapes, mango, apple in reverse direction. So it is more useful and iterator because we can use both list iterator, forward direction accessing and reverse direction accessing. But generally we are using iterator because in most of the times we don't need accessing elements in reverse direction. Enumerator interface. This is pretty much similar to iterator interface, but it has some extra features which are useful at some times. This is the interface. This is also used to retrieve elements one by one. It has two methods: has more elements, next elements. This method tests if the enumeration has any more elements or not. If it has elements, we use next element method to retrieve the element, similar to previous interfaces. Now we are going to see an example. Here we are importing enumeration interface vector. Most of the time we use enumeration vector. Some other collections do not support enumeration, so most of them we are going to use it in vector. Here we are creating a vector collection, AR as collection name. We are going to add 4 elements: apple, mango, grapes, orange. Now we have to print. We are printing the elements in the collection generally all at a time. Now we are going to print elements or access elements using enumeration. Here enumeration has different syntax than others. enumeration type, collection type, enumeration interface, reference variable, array AR dot elements. Here elements is the method of enumeration. Here we are iterating loop, while loop. It checks whether enumerator has more elements or not. If it has one more element, then it enters into the while loop and access the element. This loop iterates until all elements in the collection are retrieved. Thank you. That's all for this video. Now we have different ways of accessing elements from the collection. Thank you.